Hi, everybody. Sorry for that little click, click back and forth that was going on there. That was fun. Um, Welcome. How is everyone? Let me know who's here. Give me a shout. It's our Tuesday. Um, Looking forward to catching up, seeing how things went with how we decided to do our practice. Uh, So yeah, let's get ourselves situated. I've got books strewn out here in front of me. You can't see them. You like the new tapestry? Yeah, yeah. Look at my nice little elephant. Oh, I've just been finding some beautiful tapestries, and so I want to switch them out, switch the background now and again, so that you guys can, I don't know, at least change a little bit of scenery. I've been thinking about doing some stuff outdoors. Usually the mornings are fairly peaceful, but lately, and I feel as though until the 4th of July, I just never know when all of a sudden there will be some big explosive boom in my backyard. And so I don't want to, woo, that'd be something to bring into our practice. So I'm going to wait till 4th of July is over. All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and we're here with our home yoga practice live on Tuesday, June 30th. Woo! Last day of June. Oh, 2020. And then just say June, and then just say this day. Awesome. Here we are. Okay. Hi, Hannah. Welcome. All right. So, for those of you who are new to Home Yoga Practice Live, this is a regular Tuesday through Friday gathering to explore ways to develop a personal yoga practice at home. All right. So it might feel a little different. You might like pop in and pop out and go, meh, but that's not yoga. So just know that my task or my desire in this sharing is to give folks tangible, practical ways to start to do this thing or do this thing or do this thing on your own. Right? And notice like the drive to want to do it, the benefits that we feel as though we're getting out of it. Now, for those who are not returning like for the first time, but those who are like coming back, if you were with us last week, drop a note to me. Let me know. Did you get to practice? First of all, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. How did it go? Applying the plan that we put together, right? That 4-tiered plan. Making that plan, figuring out the amount of time we're dedicating, observing when we executed the plan, what's going on, and guidance. How did you seek guidance through your practice? So I'm going to be looking here. Hey, Kim. Hey, Claudia, to see, because what really will make this work is that interactivity, right? We've got to till the soil. We've got to contribute. So while I'm waiting to see if some folks have put some stuff in here, I'm going to start to talk about our plan as we extend it into this week, okay? So if you're new, grab a journal, get something to write on, get a cushion. Tuesday tends to be more of that really deep kind of philosophical day. We are going to move, but we really kind of get into some guts. And Wednesday becomes a more empowering day. Thursday, how do we step to new challenges and push to new edges? Friday, fundamentals of the physical practice, fundamentals of your spiritual practice, of your breath practices. All right, guys, I'm not seeing anyone letting me know how it went. So I'm looking to see what you're typing in there, Claudia, Kim. And it's also perfectly legit to say, I didn't do jack. Okay. Because then that's something to observe and look at as well. Okay. So don't feel as though I don't want to say anything because I don't have anything profound to say. Right. You can say, I sat and stared at a flower. Does that count for my meditation? So yeah, I'm waiting here one more time before I add on. So for those of us who are new and for those who are returning, this week, we are working on contentment. So I want us to still be putting together a plan. Now, so if you were here last week, look at your plan. And then maybe we modify it. for those who are new, what do I mean by a plan? All right. So I'm saying, let's create a plan for our practice and then practice the plan. So what is it that you're wanting to practice? What's bringing you to your yoga mat, right? So your yoga mat, there are primarily, I guess, like three spectrums that bring us to our yoga mat. The physicality, right? Of I want to stretch, I want to be fit, I want to be healthy, I want to bring some balance, I want to heal something that maybe doesn't feel that great. So the physical aspect. Another can be emotional balance, psychological balance. That can be, so that's more of self and a little bit outward, because if you're emotionally balanced, if you're psychologically balanced, maybe you can treat others better, you can be present, more available for others if we're more stable up in these regions, and less reactive to what's going on in these regions. And then lastly, lastly or all inclusively, I'm coming for this spiritual wholeness, this spiritual connection of why am I here? Why am I on this earth? What am I? Who am I? But spiritually, what am I? What is my essence? And that definitely deals with not only ourselves, but others, and this aspiration of something higher than above. All right, I'm taking a peek. Okay, so I've got some shy folks. So the only thing I'm really going to beg, if you're not going to share with me, like, how did it go? Send me a send me a Facebook message on the Facebook wall, or please send me an email at belinda@justbeyoga.com and let me know what you're encountering. I'm really feeling as though this is a great way, and I want to really start to build on this as a program of, okay, how do I build this personal practice? And how do I hold myself accountable? What's up, Ansel? Good morning. Lose consistency. Okay. All right, good. So Ansel, the only thing I'd like to add into that, or ask a little bit further before you set back away from your keyboard, is, were you saying that you had made a desire to be more consistent, your plan? Or was your plan to be less consistent because you tend to be more rigid? So that will really help me kind of understand contextually what's going on. And thank you. I deeply appreciate you sharing. If you all cannot see the chat, Ansel shared, I let myself lose consistency in my practice over the weekend. Consistency is the biggest challenge in all parts of my life. So thank you so much, Ansel. I just want a little bit more context with that. Okay. So when I said about your plan, are you wanting your yoga practice to be more physical? Are you wanting it to be more psychological, emotional? Like, I want to balance out something, or I want to confront fears. I want to tackle my anger. Whatever, that's your deeply personal. Write it down. It's my yoga plan. This is a point of focus that I want to work on. This week, however, we're going to overlay one of the niyamas. One of the limbs of yoga has 5 sections, and one of those sections is contentment, santosha. All right, Ansel, Hannah, yay! Slowly adding more pieces, trying to be gentle with myself and my body. Wonderful. Hannah, were you with us last week? Or is this how you're wanting to step into your planning of your practice this week? Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. And Ansel, yes, consistency is a part of my plan. I've been thinking about it since a couple of weeks ago when you talked about building consistency in our practice. Awesome. Good. I hope that you're able to overlay a great amount of forgiveness if you're not achieving whatever level of consistency you had as far as your expectations. There's an element of yoga in How to Strive for Yoga Practice that says there are 2 parts of practicing, or 2 parts of the path of yoga: practice and detach. So great, we set a practice. We want to be consistent. Now, detach. So let it go. Put that intention out there and let it go. And then return to putting it out there. Oh, great, Hannah. Wonderful. Hannah said that she watched it over the weekend. Lovely. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, let's step into this week. And I'll be trying to keep my eye out. I'm juggling here today. Going to pay attention to looking at my screen, changing a few banners. So we're going to overlay. Let's go ahead and write out, okay, what's my plan this week? It could be the same plan as it was last week. That's great. Now, we're going to know the intention. Now, think about it in terms of postures. If you're really new to your practice, don't worry about it. We'll go through some poses through today's class. And if you like a couple of them that you say, hey, I really want to focus on that, write 2 postures down that you want to be your focal point this week. Something that you want to sit with, work on, whatever your motivation, but that you're going to find that commitment, right? What Angela was saying, that consistency or commitment. All right. So now we're going to add in this week, though, 2 layers that I want to add in to help us deepen our understanding. Santosha, contentment, as you see right here, contentment. So you can apply that to your consistency. You can apply that, Hannah, with trying to be gentle, right? And applying that in a consistent manner. It is through acceptance of difficulty that we gain mastery. Santosha, or contentment, really gets to be about acceptance, right? And accepting of what is. This is a quote from Rolf Gates, who has an amazing book. If you guys are interested, I talked about make our plan. We set the amount of time that we want to practice, and we move those edges of time. And then we talk about our observation, but then guidance, either through a real person teacher, or even texts. Okay. And so Rolf Gates has a wonderful book called Meditations from the Mat. So it's daily meditations. Rolf is an amazing yoga instructor, a person of color, male, I believe cisgendered, I don't know, but who is an amazing practice and has this wonderful guidance. Nice little snippets, all right? So if you're interested in Meditations from the Mat, great, go ahead, check it out. To show you the name of that book so that you know where I got this from. It is through acceptance of difficulty that we gain mastery. And oftentimes, when we butt up against things that are hard at first, or hard the second time, hard the 5th time, hard 5 years into the process, it's hard to start to accept it, right? But when we're dealing with that, what we're really confronting are our expectations, our fears, our disappointment, right? It isn't even necessarily about getting the thing. It's the stuff that comes up that's obstructing that way that really brings us that dissatisfaction, that discontentment. And lastly, Desikachar, Santosha, the feeling of being content with what we have. The real meaning is to accept what happens, right? So you try a warrior 3 and you wobble. Do we accept what happens, or do we sit and go, right? I'm guilty. I do all the time. What I've really stopped doing from like 8 years ago was I used to go, stupid. And I noticed, oh my goodness, I keep saying this. I'm saying this to myself, whether I'm saying it out loud or not. And then I got to confront that and say, Belinda, do you really believe that you're stupid? Why is it that you're letting this utterance come out? Is it a knee-jerk reaction? Is it a reflexive? Is it an old voice from a past that is coming forth right now and holding me back? Am I embodying that? And how do I start to let that go, right? So I nowadays do go when I stumble, but I have started to be able to erase the stupid, right? But that's where that observation part of our practice comes into play. All right, TK Desikachar, that is, I didn't do a screen grab on this one, you guys. So here's my screen grab. Heart of Yoga. I really recommend it as a book of guidance for your practice if you're going into it. All right, so Santosha, that's going to be our overlay throughout your plan. Acceptance. What is it that we need to accept? What is it that we're not accepting in this very moment? What that is happening right now, can we accept? Do we have a choice? We really don't have a choice, right? If we're falling, timber, we're falling, right? If something is pulling, it's pulling. How do we accept it? All right, so acceptance. And then for our postures, I will be introducing binds this week. So what is a bind? Binding is anytime we bring a clasping together. So if we're bringing our hands together this way, when we're finding this cinching, binding hold, all right? Anytime that you see the binds that bring us into spaces like that, binding, pulling together. Now you might need to use a strap. You might need to modify those binds, but we're going to explore, why do we seek binds? And what do binds offer us to learn about ourselves and to accept, right? Because there's a lot of fight that goes on inside of binding. Mana eva manushanayam karanam bandha mokshayoho. If you've been to any of my real life classes, you might have heard me say this a couple of times. Mana eva manushanayam karanam bandha mokshayoho. If you feel bound or stuck, you are bound to be stuck. If you feel free, you're already free. All right. That's my translation of it. But if you're bound, you're bound. And if you're free, you're free. How do we confront feeling stuck? And then do we embody it? Do we carry that stuckness throughout our day? And then how do we invite that sensation of freedom? And what do spaces that bring those binds in offer us to feel? Can I feel some freedom in the middle of my shoulder blades? How does the binding together give us freedom in other places, like yoking in a discipline, right? Following a discipline strictly gives us freedom in other areas. Some people don't like Tai Chi Chuan. Ansel is here. I love that Ansel is here. He's been a Tai Chi student with me for quite a while. And, we do the same thing all the time. The form is the same thing every single time. And you might be like, whoa, does that get boring? But there's an ultimate freedom when, after a while, you're no longer having to think so much about the pivot here, the shift there. And then we get to be free in the actual energy. And I just use it as an example because sometimes when we see things that have a set pattern, we might go, that's too rigid for me. I need more freedom. But can there be ways in which we can explore set boundaries and some rigidity, some structure, some binding, pulling together that gives us a freedom that we might not have been able to access in just this open air sensation, right? And that might, giving some structure right now to this home yoga practice stuff, because just saying, okay, just do what you want. We all just sit at home going, I don't know what to do, right? That's too much freedom. Okay, so take a moment and write down for yourself, what is my plan for this week? What is it that I feel that I need to be working on for my physical body, for my mental state? I love what everyone has shared so far. Thank you so much for the vulnerability of sharing it out loud for people to see. So what is it that we want to work on for our mental state? And it's deeply private. You don't have to share all of the goodies with me or with the public. And then take a moment and look at the amount of time you actually were able to put into your practice. And I'm not going to judge it, man. It could be 10 minutes. Cool. You do 10 minutes a day. Primo. If you want it to be an hour, primo. And for how long? Because that plan that you set last week, that could have been a 2-week plan. And maybe you're just saying, I'm going to stay consistently and just do this thing because I have a tendency to always want to shuffle the deck, right? I am a shuffle the deck person. I can do something for a week. I can do something for a month, but then I'm like, I need to change it. And then I have to buck up against that desire. All right. Santosha, contentment, and our binding in your plan. Write out what it is that you want your plan to be for your mentality, for your physicality. I'm sorry, for your mentality, your physicality, your spirit, your amount of time. Remember, 2 poses if you already know 2. If not, 2 that you discover that we do today, apply it. And we're going to start to move within our plan today. All right. If you've got anything you've got a question on, go ahead and write it out now as I get stuff out of my way to get ready to sit with some practicing with you all. So, because in a moment I'm going to scooch away from the laptop, so I may not be able to see or respond really swiftly. All right. And my old lady eyes. I don't see as close to the screen or as well to the screen as I used to. And my glasses, my prescription is for close-up reading and not for distance. But maybe I guess I ought to look into that, huh? Okay. So I'm going to start practice today in a different space, okay? I'm going to start it with the legs out wide. And that can be a beginning point for acceptance of what? We're starting in a different place, right? Accepting that something is different. And we'll do our check-in. I do like a bit of certain amount of consistency that you're building for your practice, all right? And eventually, if you don't like this order, you get to feel out, how do I like to start my practice? Do I like to sit first and focus and bring a meditation before I move? Or do I need to move my stuff first and then sit, right? But right now, what I am setting in place is focus first, a little quietude, focus on breath, and then move. Yeah. All right. So, legs out in front of you. If you'd like to be sitting on a cushion, sit on a cushion. Spine is lifting. Your eyes could be open or closed. Bring some mindful awareness to that. Start to let go of the thinking. Yoga means to bind together, to yoke, to unify. Mind with body with breath, not mind over the body, not mind over the breath. You let them fold and interfold and interweave together. Feel their interdependence and their interconnection. Let your senses guide your awareness of your physical body. Feel the air on your skin, clothing. Notice your breath. Observe your mind and your thoughts. What is the pace of your mind right now? Can you notice the spaces between your thoughts? And it's okay if your mind is starting to maybe follow the truck that just went by. Bring it back and accept what just happened. Connect now to your plan for yourself, whatever that intention was. Envision yourself in that state, embodied in that state. And I'll invite us to practice a pranayama, a breath practice. That's a kumbhaka. So we're going to breathe in maybe a third of the way, hold. So bringing that binding into our breath. And then we'll breathe in 2/3 of the way, hold. And then we'll breathe in all the way up and hold at the top. And then we'll repeat it going down, breathing out, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe it all out, hold. Okay? If you have any sort of history with breath retention that is not positive, if you have any traumatic response to anything that's restrictive of your breath, don't do it. Just follow your natural breath. So we'll breathe in, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe in, hold. Observe the physical body, observe your thoughts. Breathe out, hold. Breathe out, hold. Breathe out, hold. Breathe in, hold. Breathe in, hold. How relaxed can the body remain? Breathe in all the way and hold. Remember, we're accepting what is happening. Breathe out, hold. Breathe out, hold. Breathe it all out, hold. Repeat through 2 more cycles on your own, exploring the edges of time that you're holding, observing without judgment what is going on. Natural breath. What did we observe on the uptake going up and the down? What did we observe in the different kinds of holds about what we enjoy, what we don't enjoy, what gives us that sense of freedom, what gives us that sense of stuck or restriction? And did we remember to practice acceptance? Good. Let's start to walk ourselves forward. Now, you could put a pillow down here in front of you. And we'll point and flex through the ankles and toes. Breathe. Observing. And then bring the spine back up. If you need to use a strap, go ahead and get a strap. We'll bring the hands behind us and either hold the strap to hold the hands together or interweave the fingers together. And then don't worry about going forward or back. Just sit up tall, driving the wrists down, shoulder blades together, opening the front of the chest, growing tall. What's still lifting and growing? Maybe remember that Sanskrit mantra, Mana eva manushanayam, karanam bandha mokshayoho. If we feel bound or stuck, we are already stuck. How is your breath feeling, or is it feeling stuck? If you feel free, you are already free. Where in a physical region could we feel more free? What are the legs doing? What is the spine doing? Breath in, lift the wrists to whatever degree, lifting the arms up to whatever degree your body continues to say yes to. And hinge forward. And bring it back up. So we're all going to have a different level. Coming forward and back. Make sure that you're not forcing the body. That would not be acceptance. I'm going to continue forward for 3 more cycles. You pause and stop and let go when you need. Accepting what is happening. Accepting our limitations. Inviting freedom. And I did my 3. And we'll twist. Spine lifting, occupy your physical body. Feel your breath. Can you expand your awareness of your breath? Can you relax the tummy? Could you relax your diaphragm? What does that make you aware of in your physical frame? Feeling the tummy expand and protrude. Feeling the roundness, perhaps, of our bellies. Where does that take our mind? And release, coming around. Breath in, sitting up tall. Exhale, maybe feel the spinal column. What are the limitations of bone? What are the limitations of flesh? abdominal breath. No tension in the face. Ease and steadiness and acceptance. And release. Good. Let's find a few neck rotations. Feel your spine. Feel the vertebra in your cervical spine. Can you be aware of different vertebrae? Acceptance of what is happening, but we're also building awareness of what is happening in the physical body, in the breath, in the mind. Be here now. Transition to changing into the other direction. Are you aware of how you are holding your spine right now, or did your energy dump? Did we lose the intention of the spine? Are we accepting when we notice that we do? Or do we default into judgment, inner criticism? Remember that first yama, ahimsa, non-harming, a non-harmful thought, kindness. Good. We'll come up to a neutral space and we'll tilt the right ear toward the right shoulder. Now I'm going to involve a bit of a bind here, a little bit of a hold. So I'm going to bring my right hand up on my left ear, guiding the head down lightly, gently. Dropping the left arm and feeling the left side of the neck. Breath. If you feel stuck, you're already stuck. If you feel free, you are already free. How do we invite that physically? What is the truth of what is going on? Even if the body is feeling stuck, can we find freedom in breath? If the mind is feeling stuck, can we encourage a freedom in body? The whole body. What about the jaw? What about your eyebrows and your forehead? And when you free one section of the body, how does that help other sections? Chin toward your chest, and we'll bring both hands behind the head, pressing down lightly. What regions of the body are being amplified right now for our awareness? In between the shoulder blades, length of the neck, base of the skull. Be with your breath. Check in on your action and intention right now. Are you overdoing? Should you come out? Don't overstrain. Acceptance. Okay, we're going to transition to the other side. You can linger here if you need or you want. We all have a different amount of time that we're wanting to practice or needing to. Letting the left ear fall toward the left shoulder. I'm going to hold my spine accountable to being in this nice, upright, erect space. Intentional in the framing of the body in the asana. What's still lifting in my physical body? What's still rooting in my physical body? Can I press down somewhere? Does that allow a lift somewhere else? Binding is a level of engagement that also allows for equal and opposite freedom. What is this side saying? Is your mind starting to dominate the physical body instead of acceptance, imposing a template that this side should be the same as the other side? I am definitely encountering more tension, more resistance on this side. So I want to meet this side where it is, with kindness and acceptance. So I am done with that on this side. If you're not, stay with it. We're going to join with the chin toward the chest, both hands at the back of the head. And this time maybe press upward through the neck with a little resistance while pressing down through the arms. Would a deeper, fuller breath change this experience? Help you connect to a physical, a breath, an emotional space. Work together. I'm going to release the arms, rolling that spine up. All right. Binding also involves anytime we move the physical body with our hands, right? So we're binding to a body part to move it, all right? So I'm going to ask us to just play with this notion, inviting this into our practice, to bring the feet together to Baddha Konasana or bound angle without your hands. And just observe that experience. What did we observe in the body? Let's do that again. Observing what muscles started to have to engage, observing even having to shift our body weight to make it happen. And then once again. Observe any urge that you're having to I want to grab it. And hinge forward. Observe all of the physical body areas. Maybe label them to yourselves that you're aware of. That's bending, folding, tightening, opening, yumming. Accepting. I'm going to roll the spine up. Now, go ahead and invite yourselves to use the hands to adjust, but feel that difference, okay? Pay attention to the body. Make sure that you're not forcing the body. Now, some of us like to hold either on the shins or interlace. Feel your bind, but feel it as a bind, okay? So we're connected, we're bound to the feet and the legs. How does that help you? Press the inner thighs open and pull the spine upward. So it probably feels some resistance in the arms, a little stretching. Notice the zones that you're feeling that stretching. Are you taking the body beyond its limitations? So I'm feeling a little pull in my right rotator cuff because an old injury has been being amplified and exacerbated. I'm noticing as I'm lifting up through the spine, I lost the active intention of pressing the inner thighs open. So now I'm adding that. And that added to the bind to actually let me lift the spine a little taller. Lift and root. Accept what is happening, even if it is fatigue. Now engage your core. Pull your navel to the back of your spine without suctioning up the tummy. Just engage your abdominal muscles. Engagement of the abdominal muscles can be another kind of bind. How is that helping you freely lift up through the back of the neck? Good. Breath in, grow a little taller. Exhale, hinge. And then let's breathe in as we roll it up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale. Exhale. So let's all find a pace and a number of duration. I'm going to do 4 more myself. Observing. Staying mindful about my intention in my practice. With an overlay of santosha, contentment, acceptance. Accepting in my pacing. Accepting in what the body is feeling. And bringing ourselves back up. All right, I'm going to keep the legs together. This is called bound angle. Okay, so you can kind of say, oh, binding, got it, bound. Because we're having this clasp, the feet are together. That bind is helping us open the hips and lengthen the spine. Baddha Konasana, bound angle. All right, but I'm going to cross the left arm across here, and I'm going to bring my right hand behind the right shoulder. So it's another form of bind. Or you can hook that right elbow, but do so above the elbow joint. So if you can get it above the elbow joint, try not to be below, so in the lower part of the arm. Now, if you want, bind 1, bind 2, bind 3, maybe the forearms come together. Feel the inner thighs opening. As you're pressing that gives you a little lift to grow tall in the spine. Breathe in between the shoulder blades. If you would like, we're going to add a twist to the right. Amplifying the bind, amplifying the freedom or the opening in the back of that left arm, left shoulder. So the clamping is giving us a space to free somewhere else. Are you over twisting? Don't let the bind become a choke. Remember, freedom. We're here for ease. We're here for open discovery. Practice and detach. And release. I'm going to release my arms. Just open as a reset. It's a great way to bring in some balance. So some counter posing before coming into the other side. So you could settle here. And for demo purpose, I'm just going to hold the back of this shoulder, dropping that right shoulder down and twisting to the left. You choose your bind. And just because we did it on one side a certain way doesn't mean that the other side requires or is open to that same form. Acceptance is like a physical level of acceptance, a breath expression of acceptance, and so much mental acceptance. Make room for the breath. Be here now. Where is your mind? And release. All right, I'm going to invite us to come to our hands and knees. Now is a good time if one of those spaces you want to write down as a bind opportunity for your practice this week, or maybe for one of the poses that you want to hold on to kind of say, that's what I really want to focus on. I want to work on a little bit more. I'm going to come to hands and knees. Palms directly under your shoulders, knees under your hip bones. Remember, this is not a set sequence. I am just moving through my practice and sharing it with you, hopefully within the context of the plan and what we're trying to work on here today. You feel out what works for you. If you needed a sun salutation, when you're doing this at home, do it. I'm going to involve the entire spine now. We've twisted it. We've lengthened it. Now bowing and flexing, dropping the belly down, lifting the gaze. Exhaling, rounding the spine. Back and forth. Merging and fusing breath with movement. Start to observe. Did we go to autopilot? Are we being present in our practice? What are we accepting? What are we not accepting? And just how do we steer ourselves to a space of santosha, contentment? Bringing ourselves back up to a neutral space. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips, starting to find a down dog. Now, if downward facing dog is new, feel free to A, come down at any point in time. You could stay at that tabletop. B, you can have your knees soft here. So as you're pushing the butt up to the sky, dropping the head down, your knees could be soft. This is a great way to start this out. Lengthening in the spine, being aware of the structure of your arms, your armpits, what's shrugging, what could be at ease. We do not need tension in the neck and shoulders here, and yet that might be one of the key areas that you start to find yourself a little bit at war with on what does she mean? How do I let that go? And then how do we accept what is going on? Feel the breath. Practice the breath. All right, we're going to just move through a few, just to kind of a sun salutation A, moving through the body. Be present where we are. Breath in. Exhale, right knee down. Step your left foot up. You might need to bind to help bring that foot up there, having a freedom of movement in the body. Tuck the back toes, bring the back leg up. Look at your feet, make sure they're even. Breath in, lifting the chest gently into a lengthened space. Exhale, let the upper body hinge. Just like I said with down dog, your knees could be soft here. Round your spine up to standing, lifting your head last. Breathe in as we reach upward. Press the legs down, lift the chest. Exhale, hinging it forward. Breath in, lift the chest halfway up. Your hands could rest on your knees or your shins. We're going to breathe out and step the left leg back, bring the knee down. Step the right leg back, bring the knee down. Now I'm teaching this from a basic standpoint to start. Knees down, chest over thumbs into your plank. Breathe out as we lower down. Breath in. Lift the chest, cobra. Keep the hips down, elbows remain bent. Exhale, down dog. So we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog. Take a big breath. Sigh it out. All right, where did we overforce through that sequence? What did we not accept? How present were we? And let's give it a healthy dose of forgiveness right here. Tilt the tailbone up and down a little here and notice what we notice in the spine and the pelvis. Build awareness of this physical house frame that we live in. Breath in, left knee down, step the right foot up. So as you notice, I'm alternating the foot. Step that right foot up. Sorry, left foot up. Half flat back breath in. Forward fold breath out. Rolling the spine up, feel the vertebrae, feel the flesh around the bones, working in concert. Breath in as we reach. You don't have to reach up. Your hands could remain at prayer. Exhale, let that upper body go. Breath in, lift the chest halfway. We're going to step to plank. Try to be mindful about alternating your lead leg. You can keep those knees down because now I'm in extended plank. Breathe out as your elbows shave the ribs, lowering down. Breath in, lift the chest. Cobra. What's tensing? What's opening? Breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. What's lengthening? In the spine. Push down and forward through the arms. All right, let's look forward. Now make your way up to the top of the mat. If you need to bring a knee down, use that transition. Otherwise, we're going to mindfully step with the biggest, longest step, carrying the body, placing the body, bringing ourselves up. Half flat back, breath in. Where's your mind? Exhale, forward fold. Coming all the way up to standing, breath. Exhale, bringing it forward, not forcing, not in a rush. Feel your legs, feel your belly, feel your neck. Half flat back. Hands down, step to your plank, your version of plank, and lower. Breath in. Don't squeeze the butt cheeks. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel your palms. What is engaged? Accept what is happening. Could more of the digits in your palms be actively engaged? Can we build that awareness? What are your heels and ankles doing? Look forward. Remember, you can bring a knee down first. Step your legs up to the top of the mat. Remember to alternate your stepping. Half flat back, breath in, lengthen the spine. Exhale, release it down. Those knees could be soft. Feel the weight of your body hanging. Permit the weight of your body to hang. Shift forward and back in the feet. Feel the structure of what is holding you, what is going on. What are your toes doing? What are your arches doing? What are the different muscles in your calves and shins doing? I'm going to wrap the arms behind the knees. Going to invite a bind into our chair. How fun, right? I'm going to wrap my arms behind my knees. Now I'm going to pull the knees back and pull the butt back. So I'm trying to get my thighs kind of parallel with the floor. Squeeze and pull, 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 squeeze, resist, breath. Remember, whatever is stuck is going to stay stuck. Whatever feels free is already free. Where's the breath? And let it go. All right, one more time, wrapping if you want. Feet together or feet apart, but don't let the feet be apart and knees come together. Feel that out. Set the body. Pull, pull, pull. Feel that bind. Feel the working. Feel your core. What's your spine doing? Can it still lengthen? Breath. Can you push your legs down at the same time? Breath. And let it go. Ah. All right. Hands to the floor or a block. You're going to step the left leg back foot flat. Making our way up for warrior one. So we're going to push this left hip forward. Right knee is bending. And observe everything in the body that's talking. I can definitely feel some spaces in my low spine. A little bit in the front of this left thigh. My upper body feels nice and free, so I'm enjoying that free feeling. Clarity in my mind, my breath, my eyesight. Good. We'll bring the hands down. Let's just trade it out. Step the left foot up, step the right foot back. Now, if you have been practicing your warrior one for quite a while, maybe either step the foot back a bit to get a little bit more length, changing that stride. The length of the stride, you're going to be working that psoas a little bit more, and the front of that hip flexor attaches into the mid back inside of the rib cage. All right, so if you have been practicing this for a while, do so. If you've also been practicing this with your feet wider apart from one another, go ahead and start to bring them a little bit more like a tightrope. Feel out where you are. Left hip is back, right hip is forward. What is going on in the physical body? How much ease is it using to hold us here? Where is your mind? Practice your intention. Can you be in the back leg? What is it doing? The back foot, the side of that back ankle? What about your hips and your butt muscles? Are you squeezing your butt? Do you know? Do they need to be squeezing? Are you still growing tall in the upper body? Do you believe you can? Or are you just sitting here? And then accept whatever the answer is. Maybe lengthening upward. Hands down. I'm going to step back to plank. Maybe bring a knee down first. Hold, breathe. Hold, breathe. Lowering ourselves all the way down. All right, I'm going to lay down flat. So we did warrior one. Maybe if this is a posture that you're used to practicing quite a bit, start to vary it, change it, deepen it. We did a sun salutation. Maybe figure out, hey, I really want to do 5 of those in a row without stopping. Hey, I want to work on 10 of these or whatever, wherever your limit is, start to build that. And then we get to observe all that's going on. All right, we're going to work a little bit of the spine before we close, again with a bit of some binding. So I've got your arms down, elbows under your shoulder joint for Sphinx. Inner thighs together. Unsqueeze the butt now. Pressing down through the forearms, pulling the rib cage up. Now feel the forearms. Can you be applying even pressure through the surface of the palms, each digit? Don't dig down with the elbows. Use the whole surface of your forearms, downward pressure. Grow tall through the top of your head. Now what happened to the tummy for breath? Unsqueeze the belly. Good. I'm going to cross my right elbow under me as an arm bar here, bending my left knee, reaching back, finding that foot. Now you might need to use a towel or a strap to find that foot. Inner thighs together, inviting the heel toward the butt. It's an invitation. Check in on your acceptance now. Where can you feel your breath? How is this bind freeing something else up? Now the front of that thigh, it could be a double-edged sword, right? It could be like, I think it's trying to be free, but right now it's fighting. And if it is fighting, how do we respect that? And maybe it changes after a few breaths. Acceptance isn't a light switch, right? You don't just go click and I accept it. Anybody who has had to deal with, anger or resentment, we know, there is no click forgiveness button, right? Acceptance is a gradual transformation. Feel the front of that thigh and hip. What's already changed in the amount of time that we've been here? That's the growing. That's the yoking. That's the process of the yoking. Let's not just think about end result, a beginning and an end of a linear process. No, let's be in the ooey gooey center. And then we'll release. And then bring Get back here and find the other side. Now respect this side. I've been trying to speak to this, bilateral arrangement that we have with our bodies, and we're not symmetrical. Right? We're bilateral, but we're not symmetrical. So greet this side. Hear it out. Hey, how you doing? Maybe it's asking for more. Maybe it's asking for less. Can you meet it there? Accepting what is happening. And then in the next breath, we're in a new moment of happening because it's probably changed. Now you could press down through the forearm and lift the chest more. If you're wanting more, you could start to activate that leg, and straightening the leg pulls the chest up, amplifying the bind to free the chest. Good. I'm going to release that. Now, for many of us, for most of us, that's where we're going to want to stay with that posture, with that Ardha Dhanurasana, half of a bow. Others of you may be wishing to find both. Okay, so if you're already trying this out right now, check in on your motivation. Remember your plan and your practice, and we're practicing a ton of acceptance. Heels toward the butt, forehead down. Feeling what we're feeling, letting the breath into the pelvis, letting the breath into the low back without tension. Freedom. Can we feel freedom in the shoulders? Can we feel freedom in the neck and the breath? And I'm going to release those legs and press it up to child's pose. So we can press it up. Your knees could be wide. Your knees could be together. Maybe bring a cushion down under you. Feel out what your body needs for its ease and steadiness. Find your breath. And I'm going to bring myself up to a seated space. All right, so before we close today, I'm going to do one more posture to work on with and without a bind. The most basic is going to be without the bind. Okay, so it's going to be a Navasana. A Navasana is a boat. So your feet can be apart, knees apart, chest up. Hands can be providing the support here. Excuse me. You ever just need a burp and all of that yoga twisting everything around? You feel that air bubble. Anyway, that's what I was just dealing with. So sorry. So either here, okay, but we're not here. We're lifting, pressing the feet, feeling the spine, binding in our core. All right, so maybe stay here. If you're already feeling oh my God, that's all right, right? Your core is saying, hello, you don't ask us to do this on the regular. We are not going to do this long, okay? So we got to meet ourselves where we are. If you're ready or want to, or you feel okay, I'm secure enough, stable enough, holding under the thighs, helping that bind, conduct the energy of the spine upward. Without rocking back, lifting. Feel the breath. Now, if you're noticing I'm lowering down just to the tippy toe, really holding that low core nice and tight so that then I can lift without having moved to the spine, right? Here, here. growing tall, maybe here. Where's your breath? Can you have the same easy breath? Now I'm going to bring my forearms. This isn't for everyone. New level of bind. I've got my hands underneath of my calves. Straightening. Pulling the legs toward the belly. Aspiring the chest up. Where's the freedom? Not the strain. You can be here. You can be here. And I'll bring those legs down. And we'll come down to lying down on our backs. Cool down. Invest in your counter spaces, your counter poses. Feeling the level of intensity of one energy that we're conducting and investing time in that opposite energy. Investing awareness in that opposite energy. Let's do reclining bound angle, bottoms of the feet together. Observe your physical body here. Bridge, Setya Bandha, okay? And you hear Bandha is involved in it. So we're going to be able to lift those hips. We're going to separate the feet a few inches apart. Knees are bent, knees over ankles. Gaze staying up at the ceiling to protect your neck. Now you could always do a bridge with the arms overhead and lift the hips, letting the body weight rest in between the shoulder blades, not on the neck. Or you could keep the arms down alongside your waist, pressing down through the feet, lifting the hips, and hold here. Now here the bind is subtle, but the arms are pressing down, helping give more structure through that clenching, through that cinching, to lift the hips. And then lastly, if you're wishing to wiggle shoulders closer together, elbows closer together, maybe you can bring the hands together. Lifting the chin. Feel your feet. Don't let the bind absorb all of our attention. Feel the feet, feel the shins, calves, knees, inner thighs, hips, buttocks, organs, low abdomen, breath, throat, neck, front of chest, your gaze, your face. Feel your ears hearing. And we'll eventually release, lowering the hips down. Without using your arms, be aware of how often we use the hands to manipulate other parts of the body. Ask your knees to come to your chest. Bring your awareness into your spine, resting on the floor. And then maybe let the knees fall over to the left into a spinal twist. You could stay in that kind of tucked in fetal position instead, but here we're doing a little twist if you like. Now this is without the bind. If you like, you can bring your hand, your opposite hand, up onto that thigh to help guide it over. Feel the difference of with the bind and without. Notice what you notice about how it changes your breath, how it changes the physical experience in your hips, your spine, your neck, your throat, your mind. Switching it out to the other side. If you're wanting and if you're doing those spinal twists. If you're doing the fetal cradle, you can make your way up to sitting. That's where we're coming to join in a moment. If we're still in the spinal twist. Actively pay attention to whether you're doing something, whether you're trying to force the torquing of the twist, or are we practicing acceptance? And we'll gradually come upright to a seated space. I was a little free with our time today. So if you're still with us, thank you so much for sticking around. And we did do a bit of a sit focus meditation to begin the practice with the check-in. And because of time, I am going to close without a shavasana or a quiet sitting space. That would be and should be a part, if not the bookend parts of your practicing. All of being equal and at peace in the body is to help us facilitate stepping into the mind so that we can discern and accept what is happening in our mind. All right. Well, I really appreciate being able to share with you all, making a plan for our practice and then practicing the plan. This week, santosha, acceptance, as well as learning and feeling our binds. I showed you all our Rolf Gates meditation from the mat, as well as Jessica Char's Heart of Yoga. Hands to the heart center. Remember that this is the Anjali Mudra, holding this mudra against our heart. So holding close to our heart our intentions so that we carry it off of our mat, because all of this is planting seeds for our behaviors and our words and our intentions as we walk about in the skin and interact with the rest of the world. All that is love and light in me is deeply grateful to be able to share yoga with all of the love and light in you. Namaste. Thank you all so very much for coming. Keep sharing with me how things are going. Email me. Again, I'll understand if everything, if you want this to be private. But it's really helping me guide and shape a little program thing going on in my head. It's wonderful to see you, Ansel. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Claudia and Kim, and anyone else who popped in and popped out. Namaste. Oh, tonight, Yoga to Excel, we're having a special one Tuesday night, 7:00. So if you are interested in Yoga to Excel, that's our Curvy Yoga class. Please join our Curvy Yoga, our Yoga to Excel Facebook group, and there you get the Zoom link to be able to come into that class. It is a Zoom class. It's the only Zoom class that I have. I'm trying to create it as a safe space, but I also want to be able to see my students to help that alignment. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Hey, Amanda. Namaste.